Now for our royal masterminds, Lady Colin, Campbell and Phil Dampier. So, rumours are swirling that the runaway royals, Harry and Meghan, may have divided on where their future lies. Speaking to Heat magazine, an insider source claimed that Harry has plans to relocate to New York, saying the truth is he desperately misses London. And being in the city helps. Plus, he could easily go home for a long weekend if they lived in New York. Meghan's so happy to be back in California that she can't imagine leaving. It would make zero sense to move, and she's frustrated Harry won't let this go. I mean, good grief. Harry has only lost his entire family, his reputation, the love of the British people, and moved country for her. But, hey, you know, if he can't let it go, what an idiot. But Harry's ideal move could be a sensational return to the UK, with a separate source briefing New magazine. There is a divide between the couple on this issue, but they will soon start looking for a property of their own somewhere near London, and Harry is very much leading this. So I'm joined by the wonderful Lady C and Phil Dampier. Great stuff. Thank you very much. Now, Lady C, I'll start with you. So with the couple's ideal futures seemingly lying in different continents, what's going to happen?
We should be so lucky. You know, anybody who believes all of this crap has got to have absolutely no brain at all. A few weeks ago, it was Malibu. A few months ago, it was somewhere else. They were going to be moving from Montecito. They keep on, a year or two ago, it was New York. They keep on saying where they're going to be. My understanding is, reading between the lines, that this is just another attempt of theirs to try to end up getting column inches. But I will say one thing, if they move to England, they won't be moving. Harry would be staying here sometimes because it suits him in terms of his status as a councillor of state and a possible regent should anything happen to William in the future. But, you know, I think it's all a load of rubbish, quite frankly.
OK, Phil, look, what's your take on this then? Do you really think that, you know, Meghan surely should be more understanding of Harry? He's given up his life here, he's given up his friendships, he's given up his family, he's given up his reputation, his public popularity, and he just can't let it go now. He can't let it go that he wants to, you know, come and live back in London. Surely she's got to give him something, no?
Yeah, if you want to live in London, you go to New York. Yeah, good evening, Patrick. I didn't realise that these stories originated in the supermarkets, the magazines, and God bless them. I mean, I think there's someone there got a bit of a deep imagination. I can imagine some morning, so what on earth have I done? His family, the royal family, friends, fishing with the military, sorts of titles and all sorts of kudos. So I can imagine that sometimes he might have regrets, but I think that she very much rules the roost. I think she wants to remain in California, and I think he will do what she tells him, to be honest. So I do take this with...
Yeah, look, Lady C, you know, what kind of impact do you think that this is likely to have on their relationship going forward? As we understand it, they've both taken a private jet, naturally, as any good eco-warrior would, to a private island where billionaires go to escape millionaires because they are so in touch with the ordinary people. So that's where they are now, we believe. But what could it do to their relationship, do you think? If Harry's desperate to come back to the UK and she's desperate to never leave California, apart from to go to an island where billionaires escape millionaires?
Well, I suspect that Harry knows his place. And it's very much head under Meghan's heel. So I think that she rules that roost. So I've been told by people who know them very well. And, you know, he agitates occasionally and she gives him a little bit of head occasionally so that he can do whatever he wants. And then she reels him back in. I think it's a very interesting relationship, to put it that way. I think there's a tremendous amount of power play going on and a lot of domination and submissiveness. But I don't think he's not a very happy person. My understanding is the relationship is extremely volatile, and that, she would depart tomorrow if she could find a suitable billionaire to depart with. The problem is no billionaire wants a 40-something-year-old hag.
Oh, Lady C, that is scathing. I'm sorry. I'm sure, Phil, surely there would be men queuing up to look after Meghan Markle.
I'm sure she could find somebody, sorry. But in terms of coming back to the UK, I think what we might see is more of Harry coming back on his own, actually. I mean, they've not got a home over here anymore. I think rather like the Well Child Awards and the Invictus Games, I think if he's got an excuse to come back, he might well come back on his own. But I don't think she wants to come back to this country at all. No. And it wouldn't surprise me if she never comes back. I think as I've said many times, I think she realises how important she is. And it's just, she just doesn't really want to come here.
Lady C, I tell you what, if you were waiting for her at the airport, who could blame her? But we're going to talk about King Charles now, OK? So he's made a well-received State of the Nation speech at Mansion House last night, where he seemed to take a thinly veiled dig at the cancel culture eroding debates across Britain. Let's have a look and a listen.
The temptation to turn ourselves into a shouting or recriminating society must be resisted, or at least heavily mitigated whenever possible, especially in the digital sphere, where civilized debate too often gives way to rancour and acrimony. Next, there is the breathing space we afford one another, leaving us able to think and speak freely. This well carries the politeness and respect we owe to one another.
Lady C, do you think King Charles has covered himself in glory there? Would his mother be proud?
Absolutely. I think I'm very encouraged by that speech. I think that he has shown the best of himself and that he's following in his mother's very measured, sensible footsteps, where he says just enough and says everything at the same time without causing problems for himself or anybody else. And it's about time that he stepped up to the plate where cancel culture is concerned, because it is a huge concern, not only in this country, but in the United States of America. And I'm delighted that and also let's remember, his son Harry is a big part of cancel culture as a result of his position on the Aspen Institute. So I'm delighted that the king has finally actually taken the wind out of Harry's sails and in this regard.
OK. Phil, do you think then that King Charles's comments there were absolutely spot on? I was worried for him because we saw earlier on, didn't we, things like Ngozi Fulani with the sister space stuff and an apology. And we've seen him trying to appease a little bit. And I thought, you're going to end up the wrong side of this cancel culture. Cancel culture is something that I think the monarchy really needs to watch out for in this society that we live in now. So him coming out against it, a bit of backbone from the king.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget he was encouraged to challenge things when he was growing up. Prince Philip's almost default position was to disagree with people straight away. So he talked about people being passionate but not pugnacious. And I think that he's done a very good thing with this speech. I think it's his best speech to date as king, actually. I agree with Lady C. It's encouraging people to have a debate but make it civilised. And he certainly had plenty of time to think about this speech. He's had a lot of time up in Scotland recently. I'm told he writes them himself with a little bit of assistance from aides. But he didn't get into specifics. He didn't mention things like the Middle East. He brought up artificial intelligence, social media, all sorts of things. But he put out the questions to the public, and he sort of, I think it's a very uniting speech.
I thought it was good. I think it's one of those speeches where, right, you know what he means without him actually saying it. Again, I thought that was very, very good. Thank you very much, both of you. Can I just say, I really love this combo, right? It's like Lady C's the gin, right, and Phil's the tonic. You love it, OK? So there's Lady Colin Campbell there and Phil Dampier. Great stuff. You take care. Now,